Today we are going to talk about multiplying multi-digit numbers again, except for we're going to make it a little bit harder. So we're going to not just multiply two-digit numbers by one digit, but we're actually going to do two digits by two digits. So it gets a little bit trickier. Today we're going to practice the problem 42 times 35. Now, the goal at the end of the year in 5th grade is to be able to do this fluently. That means quick. And to do it using the standard algorithm. Check. But today I am going to show you 3 different ways to solve this problem. And you can pick which one works best for you, but know that by the end of the year, we want to be able to do it using the last way I'm going to show you. So let's see what we can figure out. The first way is going to be just like our partial products from the past couple of days. So we think about 42 times 35, and we break apart these numbers and we expand them. So we know that 42 is actually 40 plus 2, and 35 is actually 30 plus 5. Now, instead of just multiplying the 40 and the 5, we actually have to make sure that we multiply all 4 of these digits. So 40 needs to be multiplied by 30, and 40 needs to be multiplied by 5, and then the 2 needs to be multiplied by 30, and the 2 needs to be multiplied by 5. I'll show you what I mean. So just like when we set up the other multiplication problems from the past few days, you can line them up. And so you think of this as 40 times 30. And then you can think of it as 40 times 5. I like to do all of the number by both of the things they're being multiplied by. And then I like to move on to the next number and what they need to be multiplied by. So then I do 2 times 30 and 2 times 5. That way I know that I have got all the numbers. I just go in order. So I know that 4 times 3 is 12. And I have 2 zeros, so I'm going to add 2 zeros at the end for 1200. I know that 4 times 5 is 20. I have 1 0 on the end, and that's going to give me 200. I know 2 times 3 is 6, and I have a 1 0 on the end, which makes 60. And I know that 2 times 5 is 10. And I have no zeros, so it's just 10. Now, yesterday I had some problems adding because I didn't line up my place value. Because this 0 is not in the same place. I want to make sure I really line them up correctly. So I'm going to put 1200 down, but then I'm going to line that 200 up so that the hundreds place are all lined together. And then this is my tens place under here, so I want to put my 60 there. And then again my 10 here. I'm going to put an addition sign so I don't accidentally try to multiply these. And so in my ones column here, I would just drop a 0 because it's all zeros. In my tens column, that's my ones, here's my tens, I have 6 plus 1, which is 7. Now I'm in my hundreds column, and I do 2 plus 2 equals 4. And now I'm in my thousands column, and it just has 1, and I can just drop that 1 down. And now I have my answer of 1,470. This is the same way that we've been practicing, where we expand out that number and we break it into its place value parts. Let's try another way. So, I actually noticed a few of you using this method, and some of your teachers last year might have called it the window method. But it's where you draw a rectangle model to help you. And this is actually the same thing as partial products. It's just that this might help some of you to not get lost. If we look back at here, this might be confusing for some of you. But this is the same thing, but it helps you to keep in order. So I'm going to break apart this first number, and I'm going to write 40 in the tens place and 2 in the ones place. And then I'm going to break apart this number, but I'm actually going to write it along the side here, and I'm going to put 30 here and 5 here. And then in this corner window, I'm going to write multiply, because I need to remember always that I'm multiplying this number. And now, each of these windows is going to have a different answer. And so I'm going to go through and I'm going to show you which one goes where. So let's start off with this square here. In this square, everything that's touching it is going to go inside. So that would be 30 times 40. And just like before, I like to say 4 times 3 is 12, and I add those extra zeros. Now I'm going to move on to this square. And I have to make sure that anything that is touching it goes there, but I'm not going to multiply 1200. I'm actually going to multiply 40 again. So now it's 40 and 5. So I say 4 times 5 is 20, and I have another 0 there, and that's my answer to that problem. Now I'm going to look at this square. Now, I'm obviously going to multiply 2 because it's touching it, but then I look straight across the window, and 30 is the number I'm going to multiply. So inside of this blue square, I'm going to do 30 times 2, which I know 3 times 2 is 6, and then I'm going to add that 0 there, and we're almost done. So in the final window, I need to make sure that I am lining up everything, so I'm going to use that 2. And if I go across here, I have that 5, and so 2 times 5 is 10. Now, I can add these together. I like to start by adding the window pane, but you can rewrite all of them over here. So if you wanted to take your green number, your yellow number, your blue number, and your gray number, just like we did before, you could line those up and you could add. Or if you get a little lost doing that, you could actually add these two numbers together. And so you have 0, 0, 4, and 1. And then you could add these two numbers together to get 70. And then you could add them, and we can actually just look at that and add it in our heads. Or you can go down and add it like we did before. Okay. So far, let's go back and look. This is the way where we expand it out, and I call it that, partial products, because we know that the answer to multiplication problems are products, and we have to find bits and parts of them. Partial means parts, and so we do a couple of them, and then in the end we add them together. This is kind of the same thing, but I like to call it the window method, because this kind of looks like a window, and then it helps you to keep it straight, and maybe you won't get as lost. The last way is our standard algorithm way. Now, I like to tell myself to go straight up and down, to the side, add a 0, go this way, straight up and down again, and add them all together. So let's try that. Straight up and down, to the side, drop my 0, go this way, go up, and add them together. This time I don't need to worry about which number goes on top because they are both the same size. I'm going to start off with going straight up and down, just like I did the other day. 2 times 5 is 10. So I put the 0 here and I bring that 1 up because 10 goes in the tens place, not in the ones place. Now I'm going to go over to the side. So I'm going to take that 5 times 4, and that's 20. I can't forget to add that 1. That's 21. And I'm here at this next step, which is to drop the 0. Now, the reason I dropped the 0 here is because I am now multiplying the tens place. This 3 is not 30, or not 3, it's 30. And so I need to represent that it's 30 by putting a 0 there. And then I'm going to, let's see, I'll use gray. Multiply again. So I'm going to go like this, and I'm going to say 3 times 2 is 6. And then final step, we're almost there. I'm going to go up and down. I'm going to say 3 times 4 is 12. And then I get to add them. And I've got 0 plus 0 is 0. 1 plus 6 is 7. 2 plus 2 is 4. And drop the 1. And that's using the Sounder algorithm. You can see how it's faster, but you have to really remember how to do the steps. If this is like crazy to you, it's okay. All you need to do is practice, and we will do it a lot. So, if you watched this video, good job. When you come back to practice these problems with me, I will know you watched this video. If you come in and on your whiteboard, you write the word happy. All right, let's see who actually watched the video. Bye, guys.